Hi, my name is Blake Woodward and it's PTI. I'm here with my co-host
Blake.
and
Harper.
so the topic we're talking about today is who's going to be the number one seed this year in the AFC. Blake, you go first.
So it's not the first choice, but I'm going to go with the Bengals because I think that with Joe Burrow leading this team, the offense is failed. His offense, Joe Mixon in the backfield is just one of the not small luxuries they have to offer. The trio of Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and T. Higgins is one of the is a great trio. As you know, like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are just some of the top 10 wide receivers in the league. And then they've added so much to this O line. Just when you look at this from when this O line was from 2020 to now, there's such a big difference. It's not even funny. And then on the defensive side of the ball, they have some great up and coming stars, and it's the and I mean like they lost Jesse Bates, which is going to be not great for their team, but I think their defense is enough to keep compete with the Chiefs. That's why I'm one of my favorite games that I'm looking forward to is Chiefs Bengals.
All right, so Chiefs were number one last year. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's going to come down. The last couple of years, Buffalo. I personally think, like he would say, I think it's going to be the Chiefs or the Bengals, the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they have a good team, but they have them. They're a good regular season team, so you could argue it's going to be them. At the end of the day, I think it's going to come down. It's going to come down to Kansas, Buffalo, or Cincinnati for the number one seed.
Who do you think's going to be the number one seed?
Who I think is going to be the number one seed? I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs just because they're coming off a Super Bowl. But it might be coming down to the last game of the season between them. I'm going to go between them and Buffalo for the number one seed.
I can't agree with that. They haven't lost too many important pieces like the Bengals have. The Bengals lost Jesse Bates on defense, but the guys, Jeremy Pratt, I think he was one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. I felt for him because he was the guy who kind of lost the Bengals' chance to go to the Super Bowl, knocking Patrick Mahomes out of bounds. But I just think that this offense, like every game they have, I can possibly be seeing like a 30 to 34 game because they're gonna go up against some great offenses this year. They have they have a pretty tough schedule, and then you look at these teams and you say, ooh, they have a good defense. But then you just come back and you say, ooh, the Bengals have one of the best offenses in the league and the best wide receiver trio in the league with Joe Mixon in the backfield. And they could just leave some help at tight end. And this team is probably the most complete offense in the NFL.
Yeah, it's true. Like you're saying, but like I said, when it comes down for the playoffs, that's when it gets interesting for me. It's too early to predict, honestly. But if you look at the playoffs in the past, the thing that worries me about the Buffalo Bills, I could be completely wrong about this in about 9 months. But so far, Josh Allen, he has 2 defeats to Patrick Mahomes. He just lost to Joe Burrow before the divisional championship. So that's going to be the biggest question: is what happens in the playoffs between these teams.
This is PTI. We're out.